So 2019 has started off great for Ark Survival Evolved. They released Atlas at the beginning of 2019, and they also have been working on so many new things to make sure that the game runs as smoothly as possible. But now you guys are waiting for something big. We need a new DLC. We need something awesome for Ark Survival Evolved. So today I'm going to be talking about every update that is going to be coming to Ark Survival Evolved in 2019. So the first and most anticipated one is a brand new DLC for Ark Survival Evolved. So I know I talked about this in a previous video about a month ago, and how there will be a new DLC coming to Ark Survival Evolved in 2019. So in that video, I talked about how every year since Ark Survival Evolved was released, there has been a new DLC to be released. So Ark Survival was released in 2015, then in 2016 they released Scorched Earth, 2017 they released Aberration, and then 2018 they released Extinction. So now in 2019, probably towards the end of 2019, there will be a brand new DLC. And because this trend, every single year they release a new DLC, it most likely will carry over into 2019, and they most likely will release a new DLC for Ark. So if you guys remember, I believe a year or two ago, they began releasing the TLC Pass. So this was a series of updates that pretty much revamped some different types of Ark Survival Evolved creatures. So I know the Raptor in TLC Pass number 2, it got a huge revamp. Now they can jump onto players and tackle people. It's insane. The Trike, it also got a big revamp along with a bunch of other creatures. But pretty much what the TLC Pass does is it remodels and I guess restructures every single creature, and it also changes some of the mechanics for each creature just to make it more modern and also more up to date, because the game has been released for almost 4 years now, and they should probably update some of their creatures every once in a while. So that's why they've been rolling out all these new TLC passes. But the problem is TLC Pass 3 was anticipated, it was talked about, it was supposed to be released, it never was. And that was because of Extinction, and it was just being released, so the developers had to kind of pause on the whole TLC phase, and they stated that they would resume on it after Extinction was released. So we've had no word on it since that last post, which I believe was in November, and how they said they will work on it. But now guys, hopefully in 2019, since it's been a year of anticipating when this new TLC Pass number 3 will come out. Hopefully it will come out this year. So I have this article that a fan from Ark Survival Evolved made, and I know it's a pretty popular article. A lot of people are anticipating these types of dinos to come out for Ark. So before we look at that, let's just take a look at this screenshot right here. So this was a statement from one of the developers. They pretty much said that they're going to be carrying out more visual changes to the following creatures: the Spino, the Sarco, the Carno, the Raptor, the female Megaloceros, the Plesio, and the Argy. So those are some of the ones that they wanted to work on when they first were talking about the TLC Pass. And from what I remember, the only real major ones that they updated were the Spino, the Raptor, and the Argy. That means the Sarco, the Carno, the Megaloceros, and the Plesio, all of those dinos need to be updated, and they were talking about it before. So this was from the developers themselves. They said that hopefully they will be working on all of those. So it looks like 4 more dinos should be coming out for the TLC Pass. So pretty much the Carno, this would be amazing. These aren't confirmed, but this is what would sound amazing for the Carno and all these other different creatures. So in the TLC Phase 3, they should probably update the Carno to give it a speed buff, a model update, animation changes, and a new sound pass. So probably most of those things that this person pointed out won't happen, but I would love to see a model update. That would be insane. Right now, the Carno, it kind of just looks like a teddy bear. It's not that intimidating, and I know in a lot of other games, the Carno looks much more scary. So as you can see right here, this is what it looks like in Ark pretty much. It looks like not that scary, it's not that intimidating, it looks kind of warm, and it almost looks like it's smiling, to be honest. This is what it's supposed to look like. Jurassic World, they did a great job at interpreting what the Carno is supposed to look like. So this is the Carno, it looks 10 times more just freaking intimidating. Like, look at that thing, you don't want to mess with that. It doesn't look like it's smiling, you would want to run from one of those. One of these, you might want to give it a little hug because it doesn't look that scary. So that's the TLC Pass 3, hopefully it'll be coming out in 2019 and very soon. But now let's talk about S Plus and the Kibble rework. So S Plus, it was released for beta in January, and pretty much since then they haven't really gave us many updates. They released the beta for the public in January, and since then they've been doing a few updates to the beta, but nothing major, to be honest. Like, they haven't talked about an official release to official servers yet. They haven't really talked about anything. So I believe in 2019, since this thing is in the beta and it's going to be planning to come in the game very soon, I'm guessing in sometime in March, to be honest, this thing will be released for 2019. So it should be coming in 2019, and it added in so many new triangle stuff and just amazing new updates for all the structures. So I don't think they're just going to drop it. The beta's been doing really well. A lot of players love Structures Plus, so it's definitely going to be integrated into the base game. The kibble rework, it's so much easier to get different things because now you don't have to go and tame like a million pommel scorpions just to get specific kibble for Rexes. Now you can get anything that you really want that's in the same egg category. So that should be awesome, and hopefully it will be coming in 2019 for Ark Survival Evolved. So right now there have been so many different updates that fix the base game of Ark and the center server, the island, Ragnarok, all of that. And whenever they do an update for the base game, Primitive Plus, it gets bombed, guys. Like, it doesn't work. Whenever you try to join it, your game crashes and you can't even get in. If you do get in, it's just all glitchy. It doesn't work at all. So pretty much whenever they do a major update to the PC or the consoles, the Primitive Plus always takes a hit and it doesn't work for some reason. I feel like the updates just aren't compatible with Primitive Plus, therefore Primitive Plus doesn't work until they finally send out a patch to fix it. So if you look at the Ark Survival Evolved Twitter, you can see that Jen, she's a developer at Ark Survival Evolved, tweeted out this: "We're in the process of rolling back our PS4 Primitive Plus servers to pre-patch to resolve missing Primitive Plus items and structures that occurred in the Valentine's Day patch." So as you can see, there's a prime example. The Valentine's Day patch was just released, and then the Primitive Plus servers take a hit and they have to roll back the servers. But don't worry guys, they've been working so much on connection issues, and now that everything is out of the way, including events and extinction, now they have time to fully focus on connection issues, and hopefully in 2019 it will get a lot better. So meshing, hopefully, we're all praying for this, that it will be fixed in an update for 2019. And if it's not fixed, to be honest, the game is just going to keep going down. It's just going to keep spiraling down because meshing, it just ruins the game. And you guys have heard this from other YouTubers, and you've probably experienced it yourselves. Meshing sucks. But I'm not just going to go on a rant about how meshing sucks. I'm going to talk about some actual details that I got from an article that a lot of people didn't even see. So back in October, they released a community crunch talking about the Extinction Chronicles in a diary or something like that. Only got 45,000 views out of the millions of people that play Ark, and pretty much at the bottom here, they talked about this in a quote. And you may not have seen this, but if you click this button, boom, look at that, holy crap. So pretty much this whole thing talks about why it's so hard to fix meshing and all that. So I'm not going to read the whole thing, I'm just going to briefly talk about it. So meshing is pretty much the ability to get outside of the map in the movable playing space on Ark Survival Evolved, or any game for that matter. So for example, you're supposed to stay on the surface where the grass is, on rocks, everything. So to get outside of this playable space, you need to go through the mesh. So the mesh is this invisible, like almost like barrier. So the point of the mesh is to keep you in the playable space and not allow you to get underneath it, where pretty much you can see up into the playable space, but you can't get hit, you can't get hurt, you can raid bases in the playable space, but you can't be attacked. So it's kind of very unfair for those players that are under meshing versus the players that are playing it fairly. So pretty much in this huge article, what they said is that when constructing video games, the developers of the games, they must use shapes in order to really create and code the game. Some of these shapes can include boxes, spheres, capsules, and these shapes are used to create different structures and world barriers in the game. So all of these boxes and spheres and all the basic shapes, these are used for really basic games that don't really have a lot of detail. but Ark Survival Evolved, it has a lot of detail. So an example of a game that would use these basic shapes is Minecraft. It has simple boxes and you can't get underneath the map. I've never heard of anyone undermeshing in Minecraft because these basic shapes, it's really hard to undermesh. I don't even think it's possible to undermesh because everything is really basic. There's no overlaps. Everything is watertight. It's just so much easier to make sure that people can't undermesh when using these basic shapes. But the thing with Ark Survival is that they don't use basic shapes, because if they use basic shapes, the game would not look as pleasing. So here's a great example of what they use. So instead of using basic shapes, most modern games, they required more detailed structures, just like in this. So as you can see, all the structures in the background, it's really complex. It's not like Minecraft where they're just blocks. Like, they have different shapes to it and different angles and everything. So they must use a meshed base collision. Pretty much what this means in, I guess, non-developer terms is they have to use a different type of shape in order to place down everything. So I don't know much about coding. I don't know about all this meshing and how all this works. All I know is that pretty much this mesh-based collision, it makes it much easier to make the game look much more pleasing. So instead of having blocks everywhere, this mesh-based collision allows them to make different curves and do whatever they really want, to be honest. So the downfall about this mesh-based collision is that it's really hard to make sure that the whole entire map is, I guess, watertight and people can't find little cracks. So pretty much you have to think of Ark Survival Evolved as a really leaky pool, and every now and then there's little tears in the lining that players can get through and get onto the other side of the map and then pretty much raid bases from the inside out. So this leaves the entire Ark world susceptible to meshing because there's nothing they can do about it. So what is the developer's solution to all the meshing? What are they going to do to fix it? You know, they can't really fix it right now, but what are they going to do? What is their game plan? Well, this ending statement pretty much says it all. As with all aspects of making a game, it's all a balancing act. We try to spend our time on the boring. So they are trying, guys, they really are, and that statement says it all. It's really hard, but they are going after the little things and doing everything that they can do to try to fix the meshing. Thank you guys so much if you made it to the end of the video. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe with post notifications on. Anyways, I'll see you in my next video, hopefully soon. Peace.